Virtually everyone in the Massachusetts Bay Colony of European descent believed in the Bible. And in the Old Testament, the Bible clearly describes the existence of witches. Not only does it acknowledge their existence, but it makes it very clear what ought to be done to them. Exodus 22:18 states simply, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." This was the basis for the laws that called for the execution of witches. So certainly any faithful Puritan would both believe in witches and believe that they needed to be executed. What's strange to me, the Puritans' understanding of what a witch was, on the other hand, was not very biblical at all. In the Bible, witches were generally people who attempted to contact or communicate with the dead. They were called soothsayers. But thousands of years of European superstition had altered that understanding to something very different. By 1692, New Englanders believed that a witch was someone who had made a contract with the devil, and by doing so, the person could now act as a conduit for the devil's power, to make people sick, to hurt them, or to do some other sort of dark magic. In fact, it's possible that the idea that someone could sign a physical document, a physical contract with the devil, was invented in Salem during the witch hysteria. Now, it's almost as if the whole point of Puritanism was to purify the church back to a strict adherence to the Bible. So, it seems very strange to me that when the Puritans began accusing members of their own community, their own neighbors, of witchcraft, they didn't follow more precisely what the Bible has to say about it. A great deal has been written and said about what caused the Salem witch hysteria. But it may be a mistake to think of it as a hysteria at all. Perhaps there were a few people who suffered from legitimate psychological conditions that caused them to believe they were being assaulted by evil magic, or even that they themselves were practicing it. Some historians have suggested that moldy rye in the villagers' food could have caused hallucinations. And there's some evidence that church politics and feuds between the families in the village led to some false accusations. But I suspect that for the most part, the witch trials in Salem were carried out by rational, intelligent citizens and officers of the court who thought they were doing good. Their fatal flaw was that as a group they simply believed in and feared something that wasn't true. There were no contracts with the devil in Salem. There was no black magic. There was, however, a whole society that firmly believed in these things and would ostracize and demonize anyone who questioned them. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. We're producing a series called On Behalf of Witches, each episode of which will tell the story of one individual victim of the trials in Salem. We'll also be producing other content that will tell the stories of some of the accusers, some of the judges, some of the court officers, and other people that were part of it. We also recommend you watch our film, I Be a Witch, which tells the personal story of one woman and her family and how they were affected by the witch trials in Salem.